The practice tests focus on key concepts that are important for the safety of food in a food service operation. Each test has 15 questions that are very similar to the real questions that might be on your exam. Question 1. What or who is the most responsible for training new staff about safe food handling practices? A. The general manager. B. Staff should already have this knowledge before being hired. C. The certified food manager. D. The owner. Answer C. Everyone should share safe food handling knowledge with each other, but the Certified Food Manager (CFM) is the one who has studied the subject of food safety and has proven their knowledge by passing an exam. Question 2. How should a cloth used for wet wiping be stored? A. Never reuse wet wipe clothes without washing them first. B. In a bucket of sanitizing solution. C. Store them dry and only mix with a sanitizing solution before each use. D. Hang wet clothes in an area that prevents dripping onto food contact surfaces. Clothes used for wet wiping counters and other equipment should be stored in a bucket of sanitizer solution. Clothes used to clean surfaces exposed to raw TCS foods should be stored in a separate bucket to prevent cross-contamination. Question 3. The temperature danger zone refers to which range of temperatures? A. 40 degrees F to 140 degrees F. B. 41 degrees F to 135 degrees F. C. 70 degrees F to 125 degrees F. D. 32 degrees F to 212 degrees F. Answer B. All foods naturally contain pathogens. Some of these pathogens are harmful to humans when ingested. Our bodies can tolerate low levels of pathogens without getting sick, but if the levels are high, then our immune system cannot defend against them. This is why we must keep the levels as low as possible. Science has determined that the pathogens which cause foodborne illness thrive and rapidly multiply to high levels between the temperatures of 70 degrees F and 125 degrees F. It has also been determined that their rate of multiplying is significantly reduced outside the temperature range of 41 degrees F and 135 degrees F. The temperature danger zone is between 41 degrees F and 135 degrees F. Inside this temperature range, pathogens can multiply, but outside this temperature range, the ability to multiply is significantly reduced. This is why we store foods either hot or cold until they are served. Other sources may quote the temperature danger zone as a range between 40 degrees F and 140 degrees F. For example, this is the range used by the United States Department of Agriculture (USDA), but for ServSafe, the temperature zone is always 41 degrees F to 135 degrees F. Question 4. What is the first step when cleaning and sanitizing stationary equipment? A. Unplug the equipment. B. Disassemble the removable parts. C. Sanitize the equipment surfaces. D. Wash the equipment with soapy water. Answer A. Equipment manufacturers will usually provide instructions for cleaning and sanitizing stationary equipment, such as a slicer or mixer. Typically, you should follow these steps. 1. Unplug the equipment. 2. Take off the remover parts and wash, rinse, and sanitize them by hand or in a dishwasher if approved by the manufacturer. 3. Scrape to remove food and other particles from the equipment surfaces. 4. Wash the surfaces with an appropriate cleaning solution using a tool such as a cloth towel, nylon, brass, or abrasive pad. 5. Rinse the surfaces with clean water using a cloth towel or other appropriate tool. 6. Sanitize all surfaces with the correct sanitizing solution according to the manufacturer's recommendations. 7. Allow all surfaces to completely air dry, then reassemble the equipment. Question 5. A commercially processed TCS food item is delivered to your establishment with a use-by date that is less than 7 days from the day of delivery. What should you do? A. This food item should only be stored in the freezer. B. Reject that item. C. Clearly mark the package with the use-by date. D. Override the FIFO method and use this food item first. Answer C. The rule for TCS food in cold storage is that it must be served or thrown out within 7 days. It's unusual to receive delivery of a food item with a use-by date that is less than 7 days from the day of delivery, but it does happen. Because it's unusual and because the rest of the food can be safely stored for 7 days, there is a risk that the use-by date could be overlooked, especially if it was a large delivery. This is why a TCS food with a use-by date that is less than 7 days from the date of delivery should be clearly marked. Question 6. Coving is recommended for food service establishments. What is it? A. A method used to periodically check the temperature of a commercial oven. B. Signage instructing employees to wash hands before returning to work. C. A curved and sealed edge between the floor and wall, intended to make cleaning easier and more effective. D. A backflow prevention device. It is used to prevent cross-connection in plumbing fixtures. Answer C. Dirt can build up in the area where the floor meets the wall. This is because it's difficult for a broom or mop to reach. Coving is an etching that runs along the wall near the floor and creates a curved surface so that it's easier to clean. Some state and local authorities require coving in food preparation areas. For example, part of the California Retail Food Code states, floor surfaces shall be covered at the juncture of the floor and wall with a 3 per inch medium radius coving and shall extend up the wall at least 4 inches, except in areas where food is stored only in unopened bottles, cans, cartons, sacks, or other original shipping containers. Question 7. Which of the following is an acceptable method for improving the appearance of food? A. Using food additives or color additives. B. Installing colored light fixtures. C. Using colored overwraps. D. None of this. Answer D. The way food appears can be a clue as to if it's safe to eat or not. For this reason, you should never improve the appearance of food by artificial means. Question 8. In order from left to right, what should be placed in the 3-compartment sink for manual dishwashing? A. Detergent and water. A rinse sprayer, sanitizing solution. B. Clean water, sanitizing solution, detergent and water. C. Sanitizing solution, detergent and water, clean water. D. Detergent and water, clean water, sanitizing solution. Answer D. When manually washing dishes, you should use a 3-compartment sink. Each compartment should be filled with the correct agent in the order of the cleaning and sanitizing process. 1. Wash with the appropriate detergent and water. 2. Rinse with clean water. 3. Sanitize with an appropriate sanitizing solution. This becomes much easier to recall during the ServSafe exam if you just memorize that sanitizing is always the last step before allowing the item to air dry. Question 9. What should you do if food shipments are not delivered at the correct temperatures? A. Bring the food items to the correct temperature within 2 hours. B. Accept the delivery, but notify your supervisor. C. Reject the delivery. D. File a complaint with your regulatory authority. Answer C. Temperature control is critical for food safety, and that begins before the food enters your establishment. Receiving shipments of food is your first opportunity to affect the safety of food. If food is not at the correct temperature when it is delivered, then it is impossible for you to determine with certainty how long the food has been stored at incorrect temperatures. This is why you should reject the delivery. Question 10. Which unused items may be reserved to another customer? A. You should never reserve unused food items. B. Garnishes, such as a sprig of parsley. C. Open condiments, such as a dish of salsa. D. Pre-packaged items, such as soup crackers. Answer D. Only unopened prepackaged food in good condition and bottles of ketchup, mustard, and other condiments, as long as they remain closed between uses, can be reserved to another guest. Do not reserve uncovered condiments such as salsa, dressings, or dips. Also, do not mix old condiments with new and then reserve it to another guest. Do not reserve food returned by one guest to another guest. All uneaten or open food should be thrown away. Question 11. Which activity requires a food handler to wear single-use gloves? A. Taking out the garbage. B. Washing fruits or produce. C. Handling ready-to-eat foods. D. Preparing food for cooking. Answer C. It is a good practice to wear single-use gloves when handling ready-to-eat foods. The gloves are called single-use because they should be changed between each task, and the same gloves should not be worn for more than 4 hours. If the glove becomes torn or damaged, it should be replaced immediately. Use approved gloves for food service and never use them in place of hand washing. Some activities do not require wearing gloves. Some activities that do not require gloves are handling food before it has been cooked, washing food, dishes, or other equipment, taking out the garbage. Question 12. Hot TCS food needs to be cooled before storage. What is the maximum amount of time you should allow when bringing food down to 135 degrees F to the storage temperature of 45 degrees F or lower? A. 4 hours. B. 8 hours. C. 2 hours. D. 6 hours. Answer D. Hot TCS food should not be allowed to remain in the temperature danger zone for more than 4 hours, between 135 degrees F and 41 degrees F. So why is the answer to this question 6 hours and not 4 hours? This is because the food will be cooled and then reheated in a controlled manner. There are a few more rules regarding cooling and reheating foods that make everything work. The TCS food must be cooled from 135 degrees F to 70 degrees F within 2 hours, because this is the temperature range that microorganisms will thrive and reproduce the most rapidly. Then the TCS food must be cooled from 70 degrees F to the storage temperature of 41 degrees F or lower within 4 hours. Finally, when reheating TCS food that will be hot held for service, it must be cooked again to a minimum internal temperature of 165 degrees F for 15 seconds. This will kill the microorganisms that reproduce during the cooling process. However, if the food will be immediately served to a customer, it does not need to be reheated and can be served at any temperature, as long as it has been previously cooked and cooled properly. This entire process can be simplified by cooling the food very rapidly with a blast chiller or another method. Then there is no need to monitor the time so closely. Question 13. Which government authority is responsible for writing the codes that regulate food service operations? A. The Food and Drug Administration, FDA. B. The United States Department of Agriculture, USDA. C. State and local health departments. D. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. Answer C. The FDA, USDA, and CDC are directly involved with many food safety regulations, but local jurisdictions are not forced to strictly adhere to their recommendations. Each state and local health department is free to revise and adjust the recommendations given by those agencies. That is why your state and local regulatory authorities are the most important to your operation. Question 14. What type of establishment should not serve raw seed sprouts? A buffet-style restaurant. B. Any establishment without a designated salad bar. C. A sushi restaurant. D. A senior living home. Answer D. Seed sprouts are grown in warm and humid conditions, and these are also the conditions where E. coli and Salmonella thrive. And since seed sprouts are usually served raw or only lightly cooked, they should not be served to populations who are at a higher risk for foodborne illness. Young children, the elderly, and people who are already sick with other illnesses are at a higher risk for foodborne illness. Pregnant women could also be considered a higher risk because of the unborn child. Question 15. When receiving a shipment of milk, eggs, or live surface, the air temperature of the shipping container should be A. 135 degrees F or higher, B. outside of the temperature danger zone, C. 45 degrees F or lower, D. 41 degrees F or lower. Answer C. Food should always be ordered from approved, reputable suppliers, and the food should be inspected upon delivery. Cold TCS food should arrive at an air temperature of 41 degrees F or lower. The exceptions to this rule are milk, eggs, live surface, and shark surface. These foods may be received at an air temperature of 45 degrees F or lower, but these foods should be brought to an internal temperature to 41 degrees F or lower within 4 hours. Hot TCS food should be received at an air temperature of 135 degrees F or higher. Frozen food should be frozen solid when it is delivered. Visible ice crystals within the packaging are signs that the food has been time temperature abused and the delivery should be rejected. Thank you for watching.